Welcome back, everyone. We are Vrock'n'Gnoll, and this is our sixth session of Shadow of the Archon.
Rock
Dun,
and roll.
Yeah,
dun.
baby.
Sponsored by Caterpillar. Caterpillar equipment.
Not actually Caterpillar, but please
Not
feel
caterpillars.
free.
Oh, word is in.
Now that that's out of the way.
Yes, indeed. For those of you wondering more or have just stumbled in for the first time, you can find us at vrock'n'gnoll.com. That's vrock'n'gnoll.com, not and.
Yeah, Vrock'n'Gnoll is something else.
Yeah, and let me know what it looks like when you get to that webpage, because I've never seen it.
But it is coming soon.
This mythical place. It's very beautiful, apparently.
I figure by the time this is posted, we'll have a website.
Yeah. And this will be like, oh, what? They recorded this before the website? Wow.
If not, sorry. I apologize for a blank webpage, I guess.
You'll just have to wait.
Cool. Since we don't have any announcements, I will jump into a recap of our last session. In our last session, the party, having returned from their expedition into the ruins west of Sanguim, made their way to the barracks of the Shields of Hakan. There they met with Lydia Morovovich and retrieved their payment for a job well done, having neutralized the arcanic instability according to the Black Watch order. Having heard of the many issues that plagued the town, the party expressed their individual desires to render assistance, some out of altruism and others out of an opportunity to further their own goals. As it happened, shortly after their previous departure, there had been a murder just outside of town. The nature of the event and the state of the discovered body led the Shields of Hakan sent to investigate the event to believe that blood magic had been performed in the Banded House Smeltery, a business that had been closed due to lack of raw materials. Deciding first to gather intelligence, the party met with Soldanus, a half-elf in Sanguim, and during the discussion, Melchizedek snuck into the home, finding disused bedrooms, dust, and a sleeping wood-elven woman on the top floor. Taking their leave from Soldanus, the party made their way to the Banded House Smeltery, discovering within the remains of a ritual of sorts, the body of a middle-aged woman partially drained of blood, and a journal. Glancing through the pages, the party discovered that Soldanus had rented his smeltery, without asking any questions, to a person who had then performed this ritual upon the woman to whom he referred as a donor, with the express intent, apparently, of finding a sanctuary, a goal which he had achieved, although its location was obfuscated in the journal entry. Returning to town, the party managed to track the movements of the perpetrator to an apartment above a psychic parlor, where they discovered a magic quill hidden behind a desk, and a map marking several locations of interest along the Deusaab Crags.
My girlfriend, Madame Morrison.
We pick up the story as the party has exited the building and are deciding their next course of action. It's late afternoon at the moment, probably about 3:30, although the sky has become clouded in the past hour or so, and the town has descended into a dreary gray sort of darkness, and there's a threat of rain on the southerly wind. What would you all like to do?
Were we on the streets just outside of Madame Morrison? Is that where we left off?
Yes, Madame Morrison had just passed you and gone back into the shop. And you now have a magic quill that you don't quite understand. You also have a map. One of the locations on that map, because Eugene remembered it perfectly, was where Lydia had pointed out the abandoned mineshaft that was apparently infested with creatures of some sort.
Hey,
Should
right,
go
if,
get a pearl so I could identify this quill. If there's even a pearl here in Sanguim, maybe Dorian has one.
Eugene, I think that's a fine idea. Dorian will have one, if one is to be found in Sanguim.
And in fact, if he did have one and I saw it, I would remember. But maybe I didn't see it.
You know that pearls are valuable, and while there are valuable things on display, that is a particularly easy thing to accidentally fall into someone's pocket. And as such, it's not on display, along with a lot of the smaller, more valuable spell components.
Actually, DM, that brings up a good point. Would Arid, in his dealings and living with Dorian over the past few months, know for certain whether or not Dorian is in possession of a pearl?
Absolutely. You would have seen several in the back room. They're locked in display cases, but generally speaking, yeah, there are lots of different spell components that Dorian offers, including pearls.
Well, Eugene, I'm quite confident Dorian has one. We may have to part with some of that gold he most recently gave us, but I do believe we've a bit to spare. Assuming Mikhail hasn't gone on and donated it to the poor while we wasn't looking.
Melchizedek has the money. I would sooner give it to someone, though.
I'm sure you would. That's why
What do you think,
Melchizedek
Mel?
is holding on to the gold.
Melchizedek, on the other hand, would not.
Tis better you hold it then, I suppose.
Aye.
Look, I am all for giving charity to the needy. But we have to stay alive out here. We need supplies. We need a place to sleep. If the people in this town cannot help themselves, at most, we can keep them from starving for a day, or two, or three.
I think
Maybe-
2,500
maybe.
gold can go a long way. But I do agree.
And
Better to
maybe
do
that
what we
next
can.
day's- And maybe that next day is better, than the last, and that's why we fight for it.
And if we do not buy food and equipment, where will we get the next 2,500 gold?
That comes and goes.
Oh, do tell.
In my meager experience.
When you don't have an excess of money, you never seem to run out.
I've seen a lot of rich people. They didn't seem very happy at all. I think money can serve you well when you're on an adventure, and we should use it to help us on this adventure, but I do agree that there's no point in just gaining wealth just for the sake of it. We should put it to use.
Well, of most immediate use, we getting that pearl for you.
Yeah,
I have
let's do
this
it.
sneaking suspicion. Maybe we can use that quill in that journal. Quite interested to see what he took the time to scratch out in his own journal. Something
Me
interesting,
too.
I'm sure. Well, should we head over to Dorian's, or you all have some other things you'd like to take care of first?
I should like to see the wizard's shop again. He said he had supplies, crossbows, bolts, other things of use.
A finer set of crossbows than the two that you got on your waist.
These are not much to look at, but
What do you call them? Where you're from?
the larger ones are what most soldiers bear into battle, called Hakari.
Hari.
They have large bolts. They are quite sinister. The wounds are deep and hard to heal. These smaller ones, they don't give them to the regular troops.
suppose that means you're irregular? I mean, I knew that, but
Something like that.
Huh.
These are called. Let's see, what should they be called?
You tell me.
But
I totally put you on the spot. I thought
this
you'd
is
have fun with
interesting.
it.
Think about this one. These are called
Yamatos?
Sarim al-Haq. Sarim al-Haq. Let's see, what should be? Sarim al-Qassam. It is hard to translate. I mean, it makes no sense in your tongue. It means the kitten's paws. Don't ask me why.
Fantastic. Sarid al-Qassam. Close?
Your pronunciation is almost native Zudani. I'm impressed. It is not a language easy for the tongues of men from this part of the world.
You have to teach me more when we get a chance.
God.
it is a beautiful language. I'll honor it by not even trying.
Well, it sounds like I'd be mighty terrified of kittens where you're from, Melchizedek.
You know, we don't even have cats. The story comes from, the name comes from a legend.
Interesting. It sounds like a story I'd like to hear over our next campfire.
Perhaps I shall tell it, if the wineskins are full.
A fair trade, I'm sure.
But where are we off to then?
Dorian's just down this way. How far are we, DM, from Dorian's?
For the record, you are currently standing outside the Center Emporium, having just left the psychic's shop. You can still see the sort of ruffled red, heavy, sort of moth-eaten curtain on the inside of the windows. You would know that you're maybe a 15-minute walk from Dorian's, down the main center street on which the Center Emporium is placed. And then at the eastern gate where you entered from the Bandit House Smeltery, you go to the right towards the western gate, where you left to go to the ruins.
DM, Aaron's gonna look around the market. Are there food stalls around?
There are not food stalls around. You remember when you were younger that you used to come here, and there were absolutely food stalls around and traveling merchants, and the town was quite busy then. These days, it's not so much, but you know from experience and from shopping there that the Center Emporium, which used to just sell mining equipment and non-perishable goods, has a small section that's been converted to sell groceries, essentially, because there was no one else to do so.
And that's been over the last couple of months.
Correct.
Arid's on the lookout for his favorite sweetmeat skewers, if they're in this area. But if the food stalls are no longer open, he'll just forlornly look over the stalls in the market.
Interestingly, a lot of the stalls are still there, and you see the stall where you used to go with your father to get the sweetmeat skewers. Unfortunately, it's rather disused and in a bit of a disarray. It looks as if the fires haven't been stoked for quite some time, and as if the vendor just gave up.
Right, well, let's carry on. This place is depressing me.
Okay. You set off down the center thoroughfare of Sanguim. Arid's leading the way, and Melchizedek, you'd also know the way from where you are, roughly, although you're not native to this town, obviously. It takes you about 15 minutes. It's a quiet day, as it always is in Sanguim. There are a couple people on the streets, but they mostly mill about, as you're used to seeing. They don't walk with someone driven by a purpose, with the air of someone driven by a purpose. It's just they're sort of walking. Maybe they're going to buy food or going home or whatever it is, but they don't seem to go, I have a job to do. I'm going to go do it.
Are there any shields of Hakan about?
You pass several regular patrols along the street. You know that they do patrol, particularly on this central street. The back alleys tend not to get patrolled regularly, and they wait for someone to reach out to them to arrive on the scene. But I believe you're probably avoiding back alleys, right? You can just take the center street. It's up to you.
Yeah, just wondering if there's a heavier presence than usual because of the recent disturbances, or if everything looks...
It seems about normal. You do pass the IHB on your left as you walk down Iberim's House of Boom. You recognize its out-of-place design and architecture that you know is common to the franchise wherever there happens to be one of those stores present. But there seem to be several guards posted outside, which there usually are not. And you remember that there was a break-in there. But other than that, no, it seems to be about the same guard presence. You also remember that someone at some point had mentioned budget cuts to you due to lack of tax revenue.
Seeing Ibrahim's House of Boom, Arid stops and turns to the party. Y'all mind if I take a quick detour? Thinking picking up some surprises in case we run into a situation which requires explosive folks.
Roll a history check for me. You can roll it with advantage.
I
Place
will.
got robbed. You suppose it has anything of value?
That is a 20, a dirty 20 with
Dirty 20.
advantage.
You know that Iberim's House of Boom is, as previously stated, an explosives shop. You also know, and it's been mentioned to you, that the only people who are allowed to purchase in Sanguim from this particular branch are people who are licensed to do so. So you require permission to buy explosives in the town of Sanguim. Usually it's reserved for mining and so forth. Although you have seen, with a 20, you have heard of and potentially seen some Shields of Hakan purchasing explosives before. Usually they tend to purchase explosives that don't create force or fire, but create large blinding light and a lot of noise. Probably to debilitate someone if they were to look at it or hear it.
Aaron, feeling mischievous. Arid, excuse me, feeling mischievous, approaches the front door. Is it barred? Is he barred from entry?
Nope. The door is shaped differently than most of them here in Sanguim. The sides are sort of pillars. They're not. They're made of local stone, and the building is mostly stone because obviously it's an explosive shop, so they want to be a little bit careful about that. But the door itself has an archway that is sort of squashed on the edges so that it curves inward like this to a peak at the top, which is not usual for Sanguim. Melchizedek, you recognize it very clearly. It's in the Zudanite style of architecture. And the door is closed, but it doesn't appear to be locked or barred.
Arid confidently walks up and opens the door, or attempts to.
The door swings inward as you press on it. Inside, you immediately are greeted with, on your left, what look to be metal bars. And on your right is a stone wall. And ahead of you appears to be a counter of some sort. It looks a bit like a bank teller's counter that you might have seen in your time in Cerulia, particularly around the town of Cold Rock. There are a lot of wealthy people there, and therefore a lot of banks. The counter comes up to about chest height, and then there's a small space, looks large enough to pass coins through or something small, and then bars for the rest of the way. And there's a sort of large, round, jovial-looking man sitting behind the counter, who, with a history check of 20, you may be familiar with this individual. Although you may not know their name, you may have seen them around town before.
Well, hello, friends. How are you?
What is his name?
His name is Urlinak.
Urlinak. Urlinak, good to see you. Doing all right.
Remind me your name one more time. Sorry, it's been a stressful few days.
So I've heard. It's me, Arid. I work over with Dorian.
Ah, of course, Eric. What is it I can do for you today?
Oh, just here at the shop. Interested in purchasing some of your. What does he call them? Does Arid know what he calls them? Or does Arid not know?
You might not necessarily be familiar. You know they're explosives. You may not be familiar with all the different types of explosives, particularly since you wouldn't have had a lot of training with them. And certainly you're not a miner, so you wouldn't know the mining charges and so forth. But you would know they're called explosives.
Just here for some of your explosives.
Did you recently have a permit signed to you?
No, but I think well, Dorian and Lydia do. We're working on their behalf, picking up some items on a special mission that I was working on. I can't say very much, but the wares will be required, and they have given us special dispensation to acquire what we need.
Do you have the document to show?
I don't. The nature of what we're doing is such that we're trying to keep written records out of the mix, if you understand my meaning.
I see. Special mission for the Shields of Arcan, then.
Lydia herself.
While I would normally be happy to help, I am not allowed to provide you with the higher power explosives because they are quite dangerous. I can make a persuasion check, actually.
All right.
He knows you, so it's not a particularly high DC.
Good, because I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10. Okay. Okay. You rolled a natural 20. He was going to sell you mining charges, but...
Heck yeah.
Only on a natural 20. Okay.
Well, if you are working for the Shields of Arcan and I know your face, I could sell you some smaller charges. These are primarily used for combat, but will not bring down a house or a building or anything like that. You have to understand that in the town of Sanguim, at least, I'm already under scrutiny because there was a break-in here. Can you believe the Shields of Arcan thought that I was part of it?
Terrible misunderstanding, and so I hear them daring to accuse a fine, upstanding citizen like yourself.
Well, they did not
Ridiculous.
accuse, but they came close.
Hmm.
But I told
Well.
them I have been in this town for 15 years.
Of
I have
course.
served the mining companies, and never has anything gone amiss until now. So, they eventually gave up.
As they should. You are a fine and respected purveyor of explosive wares.
Purveyor of boom.
Purveyor of boom. Indeed.
Yes, yes. Well, I have two types with me currently. Oh, I apologize. One type. I had two.
And he steps back and goes behind a room. You see crates against the back wall, and they're all very evenly stacked, and they seem to be very well kept and checked regularly, so there's no dust on them and so forth. And he just sort of slots one out from the wall and sets it down.
As he's fussing
yeah,
in the back, Aird leaning on the counter, just looking over whatever he can see from his angle. You had 2 types. What happened to the other?
Stolen, I'm afraid.
Which one?
Those were the more destructive kind. They are smaller, they are round, and you can easily throw them into combat and they will detonate when the fuse is lit.
A dangerous thing to have stolen.
I quite agree.
All right.
I'd very much like to have them back, or at least to know where they went. But, thankfully, those were the only things stolen. So, thankfully, the
Tell you
higher...
what, I'll keep an eye out for them. If I find any,
You said
I'll
they
return right back to
primarily
you.
use it for combat? It's not really used for excavating?
Yes, that is true. The excavation charges are much, much more powerful, and they are shaped. They explode in a certain direction instead of outward in a radius. But the higher power explosives are not in this room. They are in higher security behind me. Whoever the thief was, they only came into this front area.
Aird nods his understanding and waits to be presented with the blinding charges.
He takes a small, what looks like a little capsule. It's cylindrical, and it has it looks to be of a metal that's dull, almost like a lead. And then the tips are covered in silver etching, which looks to be runic, although it doesn't read anything. He pulls one out very gently and cautiously. He goes, "These are called fire eyes, because that's what your eyes feel like if you look at one."
Fire ass. I like it.
Throw these, and they explode on impact. And in a 20-meter radius around them, if anything is looking and relies on sight, they will be blinded for a period of about 12 to 18 seconds.
Damn, is that 20 meters or 20 feet?
20 feet.
Okay.
Not meters.
I was like, damn!
Nope. Absolutely not.
I'll take 20.
You would also note for for clarity that whatever is looking at it has to make a saving throw of some sort.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Wonderful. These will do nicely. May I?
I'm afraid I must show you how before you take them. He says,
Please.
"This. You see this?" And he points to the very top where it sort of goes up in a cone at one end, and there's a small, what looks to be a metal pin that's pushed through the top. He says, "You pull this out, all the way out, not right now, and when you throw it, when this button on top," and you can see he's pushing on it, but the pin that's through it is stopping it from being depressed all the way. When this hits, boom, as I like to say.
Close my eyes. Got it.
That would be advisable.
Wonderful. I'm sure Lydia and Dorian will appreciate you giving this to us at cost, of course. Given that we're
Roll up
working on their behalf. Roll the 5. Damn it.
Yes, I will of course give them to you at cost. Absolutely. You see there are 4 in this small case. The case is about yay big. And it has 4. It looks almost like a wine case in that it has slots for 4 with a little sort of wooden cutout in the middle, and the insides are packed with straw. And there are 4 of them inside. He goes, "These are 30 gold each."
Insight check.
Go ahead. Make an insight check.
30 gold each.
18. Dirty 18.
That's probably not cost.
30 gold.
You can
Aaron,
take just one or all four if you wish. If you were to take all four, I would give you all four for a discount. Say 100 gold.
Oh,
but we still have to buy the pearl, and don't we need other things too?
Arid turns away. Give me one moment while I get the funds. And turns to
Yes, sir.
Eugene. We do. I think we have a gold to spare. I think this would be really useful. We find ourselves surrounded as we did back at the fortress we discovered on the crags. This would have made a big difference. I think it's worth it. But it's not all my gold. If y'all don't want to respect the decision of the party, what do y'all think?
Sorry, how much do we each have at this point? We got 2,500.
So you have 300 gold from Lydia. In party loot, you also have, I believe, 34 gold pieces that you found on the body of the dead cultist leader, Gregor. You also have a small bag of rubies and emeralds worth approximately 100 gold.
Oh, the 2,500 we swapped for the bag
A
of
bag
For
holding.
the
of
Right?
bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arid's forgetting that at the moment.
Sorry, do we have 34 or 334?
330.
334 altogether, plus
Okay.
the gems.
I see. I
Mm-hmm.
see.
What do y'all think? I think it's a worthwhile investment, but I don't know. Eugene isn't wrong. There may be other things we need to buy.
Well, I'm not one for tricks.
We will
But
need at
perhaps
least one pearl. That's 100. I hoped to buy some more bolts and the like. Should be some tens of gold. That
Sounds
still
like we-
leaves 200 for further supplies. Some
Why don't we
boom
buy
was not
one?
go amiss.
Why don't we buy one and try it out? See what it's like. And then purchase the rest if we need to.
You can see the look of disappointment on Arid's face, but he nods.
Do I see the look of disappointment on the shopkeep's face as I say this out loud?
You're saying it within earshot?
Yeah, I say we should buy 2 at most. They are far too costly given our means.
Roll an insight check.
That should be. It's a 3 total. Two
And
plus
so
one.
the shit rolls begin. All right.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Fuck.
he seems a very jovial man, Urlinak, and it doesn't seem like a lot phases him, is what you get.
All right. Well, I think Mikhail is wise. Let's try one out. If it ends up being as useful as I hope and think, we can almost come back. You all agree?
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't want to take away your cool toy, but it's just we got to be sensible with our money. That's what my dad always said.
Well, your dad's a rich man for a reason, I imagine.
Well, you said it yourself, though, if the money goes to good use. I
That
Look,
is
friend,
true.
you are welcome to spend your share however you wish. I will contribute to at least one of these devices.
All right, then. I'm sorry about that, Ernalog. Just confirmed my friends. Determine how many we'd like. Sounds like we'd like 2, if you please. Any sort of discount for 2?
I will give you 2 for 55 gold. It's a 5 gold saving. Because I know you.
I appreciate you, sir.
Absolutely.
How dare they slander you? Such a gentleman.
I do agree.
All right. We'll take 2.
He takes two very gingerly out of the case and sets the case down. He puts the case back into the slot on the wall where he took it from. He takes a smaller case out. That's not as deep. It just opens with a flap. It's rather thin, and there are two spaces inside that he then pushes the hay inside aside from them, and just sets the essentially grenades down inside this case and closes it and goes, "The gold, please."
Of course. Forgive me, I haven't used these before. How ginger do we need to be with these? Like, not gonna explode my pack, will they?
Well, it would be best to not jump around too much.
Huh. Yeah.
I suggest we put them in the bag.
A fine idea. Melchizedek, you're the one with the gold. You mind?
Yeah, I count up 55 and put it on the counter.
He gratefully accepts it and scoops it off the counter into a... You hear it hit into a receptacle beneath the counter, although you don't know what it is, and a sliding sound as he pushes it back under. He goes, "A fine day to all of you. Please come back whenever you wish. And if you wish to purchase more powerful toys and tools. Let's be honest, who doesn't like blowing things up from time to time, am I right? Well, you must get a permit from the town for that. But since you are working for the Shields of Arcan, and Lydia is the one in charge of procuring the permits from the mayor, there you are."
Shouldn't be a problem. I'm sure we'll be back.
I have a question about that, actually. We're investigating some things around town and had heard that your business was robbed. Do we know what was stolen? Does he know that we know? Or do we know? Are we trying to hide that from him?
He revealed it earlier, the
Revealed it, right, okay.
mining charges, yeah. The smaller shaped ones, right?
Yeah, smaller.
What do you-
The essentially hand grenades that do explosive damage. The shape charges and mining charges are in the back room, he said, and those are perfectly safe.
Yeah.
So what do you suppose kind of damage those stolen goods can do?
In the right hands, 16 of them were stolen, which is a fair few.
68. Wow.
And how do those work? You showed us how these work here. Can you tell us a little bit about the charges? Are they mines and you step on them and you blow up like I've seen creatures from the battlefields of old?
Well, they work the same way as these. I had never thought to use them as traps before, but you could theoretically bury one. And you see, remember the button on top with the pin through it. You could remove the pin and bury it so that the button is up. This is something you could do. I had not given it much thought, though. Particularly because leaving mines is illegal.
Suppose something were to happen and we would trigger one, can it be turned off?
Once you step on it, I'm afraid it's a matter of moments before it explodes.
How do they remove it? How do they set it off remotely with the long string or something?
They cannot be set off remotely. They are usually thrown into an enemy. As long as the button is depressed on impact, boom.
Boom.
Well, thank you for your time.
Of course.
We'll try to return them to you if we can find them.
That would be appreciated. It would set the minds of the Shields of Arcan at ease, and therefore my mind at ease.
Gonna lead to a discount on our next purchase, I imagine, eh?
That would be something we could discuss, yes. I would also pay you for their return.
Right. Oh, we'll keep an eye out. And Arid turns to leave the shop, giving Mikhail sort of a side-eye look, like surprised It is lines of inquiry. Not in a bad way, but like just impressed.
Okay.
I was like, space out. So.
As you step back outside, you notice that it was cloudy before, but it's sort of gently begun to rain now. It's not a heavy rain. It's a light rain, although it's a little cold because Sanguim. But the day's still yours. It's still probably around 4:45 now.
I appreciate y'all's indulgence. I do think we can use these. Hopefully we won't have to. Michaela, surprised at you. You have a devious mind for a priest.
Well, I've seen a lot of crazy old battlefields back in the day, and well, sometimes you have to get a bit scrappy out in the wilds to survive with traps and whatnot. You should see some of the traps that the Kiraset put together out in their wooden fortresses. Ingenious people they are.
I would surely not like to encounter them out in the wild then.
Nay, neither a man or woman who can throw bombs at us. 'Twould make a mountain out of any person wielding them. You should exercise caution.
I will add that. Eric says while pulling up his hood, giving the rain the sky rather, a mild look of annoyance. Everest, for her part, is keeping up with them, but flying from shelter to shelter.
Yeah, you get a strong telepathic feeling from Everest that she is miserable.
Arid summons Everest with his gloved hand.
You hear flapping, and she comes sort of like darting out from underneath one of the eaves of a nearby house as you walk, and just alights on your hand with sort of this angry look on her face, one eye scrunched.
There you go.
It ruffles her feathers, shaking water free.
I'll pull you out when it's a bit nicer. In you go, alright? And he looks around, actually. Is there anybody within eyeshot or looking their direction?
There are a few folks further up the way, and there are soldiers posted outside the IHB, which you're walking away from now. They didn't seem to bother you as you went in. They kind of looked at you and then just went back to whatever they were doing. They seem to recognize you from town. And they also know that you're currently working for Lydia, and know better than to cross someone who's working for Lydia at the moment.
Fair enough.
And
Eric sort of
yeah.
hunches over and pulls his cloak around her and absorbs her into his gloved hand, for all appearances.
Are you hiding it from the rest of the party?
No.
Okay. You all see Eris almost vanish underneath Arid's cloak, essentially, that he's pulled up over his head for, to keep the rain off. And with a small sort of what looks to be a purplish sort of energy, just dissipate under the cloak.
She was magical. I knew it. That's amazing, Arid.
She's magical in many ways. Well, I kept us all long enough, and we're out in the rain. Off to Dorian's?
To Dorian's. Let's go.
All right then.
The ground, it's just started raining, but Sanguim is sort of under a thin layer of muck as it is. It's usually a little bit drier than it is right now, however, and as you step and lift your foot, it makes a sort of noise.
Squelch.
Yeah, it makes a squelchy noise as you step, and if you look back at your footprints, they very quickly, the depressions in the soil sort of fill with dirty water as you continue. But in approximately 10 to 15 minutes' time, you arrive at the, frankly, welcoming-looking structure of the Stonebright Enchanters. The doors are currently open.
All right. Aird walks in.
Immediately,
Takes care.
Oh, go ahead.
Takes care to try and shake off most of the water before actually entering the establishment.
As soon as you enter, the water is gone from your clothes.
That's better.
You all actually experience that if you step inside. The mud and water just sort of falls away from you as you step through the door.
Eugene remembered it from last time and was expecting it and sort of like hops through the threshold to like see it happen quickly. And then I'm going to like kind of hop backwards back out the door. Hopefully not running into anybody, but seeing if like, does it just am I immediately wet again or am I still dry?
Nope, you're still dry when you step outside, but the rain does start to patter against your shoulders and head again.
Just had to test it. Go back.
You crash
Okay,
into
game's
Melchizedek.
Yeah.
He's just making his way in.
Oh,
What?
sorry now.
Didn't your mother ever tell you not to run around in houses?
Eris is rubbing his forehead. I'm with children. I am with children. Master
Is there
Dorian.
anything in this place which is not magic?
Absolutely and unequivocally not. You hear from the shopper, or from the enchanting room. And you see Dorian's head and his long locks sort of peek out. Ah, it is you. Welcome, welcome, come. I asked you to return because I had something for you, I believe. He said, pointing to you, Mel. But the rest of you, of course, more than welcome.
I step up to his counter.
He's, excuse me, he's in the enchanting room right now. The counter is in off to the right when you enter. That's the shop, essentially. Well, I am just finishing something up. Will you take them to the display room, please? And I will join you in just a moment.
Of course. Shall I prepare some tea?
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Naturally. You all know the way. Come on then.
Yeah.
Making his way to the center area.
Yeah, as you step towards the center area, Dorian disappears again. The door is a little bit open. It's open about maybe a foot. And you see a sort of light glow that just sort of pulses slightly. And it sounds almost like Eugene and Arid, you'd know. You've seen some of the more advanced teachers at the academies that you went to respectively cast lightning bolts. It sounds a little bit like that. It's like a crackling sound of electricity, essentially, for the players. For the characters, don't necessarily know what that sounds like.
Looks like he's doing some of his more powerful works today. Surely hate to see him in action. Or rather,
Sounds like
any of his
what I
enemies
heard.
would.
Lightning magic, maybe. That's what it sounds like to me.
You have a good ear. It is lightning magic, yes. And you see him emerge from
Can I watch?
Well, I am finished now. We will go to the shop room. But if you are interested, it's not done yet. I'm still working on it. But perhaps when it is finished, I will show you what it is I am working on. Arid, you know that he
I would
doesn't show
love
unfinished works. He's very particular about that.
I wouldn't press him on it, Eugene. He's quite particular on this.
I know enchanters always like to be secretive about their work.
Well, one cannot give away the secret recipe. Chefs are the same way, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Good metaphor.
And he steps forth and waves his hand, and the door to the showroom opens.
Arid makes his way, speaking of the chefs, to what passes for the kitchen in the enchanter's residence and begins boiling some water, fetching the leaves that Dorian prefers.
Yeah, and you know where they are. Generally speaking, the only fingerprints on this teapot are probably yours, since Dorian prepares tea all the time, but he's never actually touched the thing.
Right.
It just sort of happens for him. The inside the shop room itself, the lights are dimmed, so it seems as if he probably was winding down for the day. But he steps behind the counter and reaches underneath it and pulls out a case. Looks like a wooden case. It's a relatively plain case. But he opens it and spins it and pushes it towards you, Melchizedek, and goes, "That is what I thought you would be interested in. It was paid to create it a while back by a mercenary who passed through, and then unfortunately they never returned for it. So I kept it about 2 years." You see in the case, in what it's very simple on the outside, but the inside is very lush red velvet. It's very beautiful, and the stitching on the inside of the around the edges is of gold filament. You see a small bolt. It's clearly a crossbow bolt, but instead of a arrow tip or a tip of any kind on it, it looks almost like a trident. It has 3 prongs that look like this.
Whoa.
Have you ever seen one of these before?
I furrow my brow, and I gesture as if to pick it up. Say, "May I?"
Of course.
I take it out, and I turn it back and forth in my hands. Can I figure out what it's for, or how it works?
Roll a... Are you trying to figure out how it works, or to see if you've seen one like it before?
Just trying to figure out what it is, if I've seen it, or if I can devise...
Roll a history check. If you fail the history check, you can roll a tinkering check.
It's a natural one.
It's a natural one. Yeah,
Yep.
Go ahead and roll a tinkering check.
So that's Dex plus
Plus your proficiency. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wow, face
Oh,
family.
what?
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
There we go. Plus 3 plus 3. So, plus 3 plus 2, so 25 total.
Okay. This is clearly a magical bolt of some
I'm not
kind.
really a man of history, but,
Yeah, this is clearly a magical bolt of some kind. While the magic itself escapes you, you can absolutely tell what it's intended to do. This is a grappling arrow. It's a bolt that, when fired at something, it looks as if the prongs will stick into whatever it's fired at.
I have never seen something like this before, but I can see that it will attach where the prongs stick, but what I cannot figure out is where the rope is stored, and I'm turning it back and forth looking for,
This is part of the enchantment, of course. You are approaching it from the mind of an engineer, which I appreciate, but the rope itself is magical in nature. So, here, come. And he waves you into the main room. Just take out your crossbow, if you would, and fire it at the ceiling.
I do as he says. I seat the bolt in my offhand crossbow.
Meanwhile, keep in mind, the ceiling he's pointing to looks like the sky. Doesn't actually look like a ceiling.
I look at him a little askance
Problem?
as I point it upwards. I say, "What ceiling? I see only sky above."
Oh, of course. It's an illusion. Just fire, you will see.
Without taking my eyes off him, I fire at the ceiling.
There's a whirring noise and a ping as the bolt fires. And as it reaches the zenith of the sky, there's a tink noise as the crossbow just stops, or the bolt seems to have stopped and embedded itself in what appeared to be sky. It looks like it's kind of hanging in midair. but you gather that it's obviously an illusion and there is actually a ceiling there. And underneath it hangs a filament of rope. It can hold...
Is it thin rope or thick rope? Or
it looks thick enough. It's probably about...
thick enough to climb, for example?
Yeah, it's probably about that much around. It doesn't look like it's like a heavy-duty rope that you'd see on a ship or something like that. But Dorian sees that you're looking at it. It can hold about 300 pounds. Any more than that, and the arrow will release from whatever it is on. And the best part of this, looks up and says, "Come," and it releases. The arrow releases from the ceiling and plummets to the floor and ding, 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 and bounces.
What happens to the rope as it does?
The rope vanishes.
That's so much cooler than a flashbang.
I am kind of floored.
All ears.
Can be used as many times as you like. One thing I would say, when you summon it back, I would probably hold on to the rope so that the arrow comes to you. Otherwise, you may lose it down a precipice or a chasm or whatever you adventurers do.
About
So?
this time, Arid's emerging from the kitchen with the teapot, and you just sees that bolt on the floor, raises a brow. Used to stranger things, though. He sets about the teacups on a nearby table and begins pouring.
Yeah, Arid, you're used to him doing silly things when he gets excited about a piece of something that he's made, particularly when he's about to sell it, or trying to.
Right.
I say to Aaron, your master has many strange and wonderful things in this shop.
I haven't seen that one before. He must like you. Here.
It is a grappling arrow.
Well, I can think of many uses for that.
As can
It's
I.
magical too.
If
So?
I turn to Dorian, I say, if there were an Arcana storm, this flux, which we have been investigating for you and for Lydia, if one were supported by this rope, would it break?
That I could not say, but it is possible. I'm sorry. Tom.
For anyone listening, we have the finest view of the most beautiful ankles I've ever seen.
Missing out on the visual stream.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I tried to keep a straight face. I just couldn't.
There he is. He's got the most beautiful ankles in the universe. Sorry, I'm just trying to organize myself in this room.
I need a recap. What was just happening?
I was asking if an Arcana storm
Right.
would dump me
Sorry.
down a chasm or something.
I think Melchizedek or Mikhail gets a point of inspiration for that. It is magic. I have never tried it before. I would not recommend it, and I certainly would not put my life in its hands in an Arcana storm. But these storms, as you know, are not so common that that makes this useless.
Yeah, Melchizedek has his doubts about that, but keeps them to himself.
Well, this was paid for in advance. I'm an honest businessman, if nothing else, by the mercenary who never picked it up. He paid a sum of 300 gold. So I will take 150, and it is yours.
I would be honored to carry a tool such as this, but I do not have the gold.
Well, 75 now and 75 when you return.
Melchizedek quickly calculates that his share of the 300 would amount to, let's see, 75.
Well, you would remember that actually Lydia promised if you caught the killer or gave her information on the killer was actually 500 for that contract.
Yeah, but, he has on him, he would reckon, 75 of his own.
Melchizedek, you did me a good turn. I'd be happy to return the favor.
Yeah, Belle, this could benefit all of us. Who knows what we could come across in those crags?
I would accept your generosity, Erin, but you have already spent half your fare on the House of Boom.
You've gone to the House of Boom. It is one of my favorite places.
I know.
Urlinak is such a friendly individual.
I turn to Dorian and say, I will take this deal you have offered. 75 now, and 75 upon our return.
Very well. And you see he closes the case. Would you like the case with it?
I do not think it would fit into my normal quiver, so yes, I will take the case.
Slides the case across the counter to you. And you are now after you give him the gold, which I'm presuming you do.
Yes, I do. I give him 75.
Okay.
Sleight of hand.
You are now the proud owner of a bolt of grappling.
That's awesome. Is there an item for that, or should I try to make one?
Yes, I am going to put it into your inventory.
Do we see the items in the items directory, DM, or
In inventory?
Inventory.
directly in our inventory? I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever is keeping track of the gold, please subtract the 55 for the
You put it in party
grenades.
loot. Right?
I put it in your inventory, Melchizedek.
Oh, the gold though.
Oh, the gold I did not. I didn't add it anywhere last time.
part of it.
Whoever had it had it.
Yeah, 334 is there, so I'll subtract off 55 and 75, which is 120, 130.
Cool.
I can't be doing business without tea, though. Arid hands the teacups out, now filled, to everyone.
Hey,
Erin, is there anything ceremonial about the way you're pouring the tea, or is it just sort of...
Arid isn't as bought into the whole ceremony of sipping tea and its dispensation as Master Dorian is, and so he does so quite efficiently. But you would recognize the smell and aroma to be particular, unique, and not something that you would have encountered in most places.
DM, I didn't get to ask this last time. I wanted to, but do I recognize?
Roll a history
tea?
check.
That would be 8 plus 1, so 9.
Wasn't a high DC. You're not entirely sure, but there are hints of the same, sormac and other herbs that you are used to smelling. There are hints of it.
Master Dorian, we came across something. We can't quite figure out what it is. Would you mind taking a look and telling us its properties? If you're able.
This is something I can do, yes. Normally I charge for it, but for you I will not. What is it that you found?
Eugene has it.
Yeah.
Master
Let me get
Eugene,
it.
please.
I bring the bag of holding out to in front of me and from my backpack or from my back and think of it and reach in and grab it out. And go, some sort of a magical quill.
Ah. And he takes it from your hand and sets it on the table in front of him. And looks it over just sort of from different angles. Clearly magical of some kind. I'm guessing it writes on its own without ink, yes?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
This is
We
common
found
for
it.
most magical utensils, but this one may have more properties. Just a moment. And you see he concentrates for a second and withdraws from his pocket pearl. It looks like a small black pearl, approximately that big. He just holds it up to his forehead for a moment, and then you see his eyes flash an orange color.
A black pearl, you said.
Yeah. And he looks at it and just goes, huh, that is interesting. This is a Quill of Cyphers. Does
Quill of
anybody know what those do?
Do I?
Do we?
And you can roll an Arcana check, yeah.
First roll of the session here.
It's like a
For
party one.
myself, I mean.
Yeah, anyone can roll an Arcana check if you want. Mel would probably roll a
18.
history check.
Yeah.
You could roll a history check, actually. Mel, you might have come across one of these, given your... I won't say anything else.
That is a 22 for Arid.
Nice.
8 for Mikhail.
8, Mikhail.
15.
15.
No, specific.
Eugene?
I'm at 13.
13.
Yep.
Arid and... Arid, you absolutely know what these do. This quill can write in... Well, it has unlimited ink, essentially. It will write without being dipped into an inkwell. But on top of that, it has the magical property of, when desired, when the user uses it, it will write in obfuscated text. Essentially, it looks like code, or whatever you want it to look like. It could look like harmless scribbles. It could look like you crossed something out. It could look like anything. And essentially, when it is delivered to the person, you choose a passphrase before you start writing. And when a person holds the paper and says the passphrase that you choose, the writing rearranges itself, or the picture or the scratching or whatever it is, into what was originally written.
Eugene. The journal.
Get out
Master.
the journal.
So any way to figure out what the passphrase is?
Well, you choose the passphrase, so you may choose any passphrase that you wish. For example, and he takes the quill and just goes like this, and a piece of parchment appears in his hand. It doesn't look like nice parchment, like spell parchment. You two would know what that looks like. It doesn't look like that. It just looks like regular parchment that he'd use to take notes. And he thinks for a second and says, Zudanite, and starts writing. And you see what essentially looks like an archaic script. It looks a little like Ancient Elvish, but it's, for anyone who speaks Elvish, it's not legible. You can't read it. It doesn't have any meaning. And he passes it to you, Arid, since you're the one who seems to know what the quill does.
Sune.
And you just see the text rearrange, and it says, "Hello, my name is Dorian."
Is it visible only to Arid? Is it, or
Nope,
does it
you all see
rearrange like on the paper? Also?
You
Did he just write the magical equivalent of a hello, world?
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah. Oh, programming.
On a script, if you will, a menu.
Yeah.
Nice. You lose
Yeah,
one
now,
point
do I
of
recall-
inspiration.
I was gonna say.
Other than the that's good.
Easy
Other
come,
than
easy go.
the crossed out bit, there wasn't any part of the journal in a mysterious code or script, was there?
No, it was plain
Yeah,
text.
Use any
Yeah.
sort of use any sort of weird phrases in like greeting, like hail something or
It must be
strange
one word, single word.
single word.
That is not very secure. too easy to guess.
It could be a very long world.
They should at least have included some numbers or
Symbols.
symbols or something.
And one
Special
of them must be
character.
capitalized.
Yeah.
Master, is it possible to dispel this enchantment if we came across writing that was done in its ink?
Yes, it would be possible, but from my understanding, the dispel magic will not work. The text on the paper will simply become the text, or the magic behind it will be lost. It will not rearrange itself. You could use the spell comprehend language. I have used that spell before to understand ancient writing in textbooks and so forth.
I see. We've come across something that may have been written in the ink of this quill. I was curious to know if we could find a way to decipher any sort of hidden meaning in it.
Are any of you capable of casting detect magic or on comprehend languages?
Well, I'm not. Eugene?
I don't have the spell memorized. I wait. I can detect magic. Was that what you said? Detect magic? Sorry. Oh yeah, I can detect magic.
Well, perhaps you will tell me if this is magical paper or not. If it is, and the magic looks to be illusion, then there's a good chance if you found the quill and the book together.
Damn, Eugene had cast it before in the room, and with Eugene's keen mind, he would remember. Did the book glow?
The book did not appear magical. No.
Right. The quill did. Obviously.
We've tried that, Master Dorian. The book itself does not appear to be ensorcelled. At least, Eugene, that's what you shared.
Interesting. Let me try something. He takes the quill, and he opens the book that he has that he keeps on his person. Just a moment. Yeah. Yes, just making sure that this spell I am going to use was prepared for today, and it was. And he retrieves a small a strip of ivory, it looks like, sets it on the table and just places his 3 fingers on it, and then his other hand on the quill. And you see his eyes go slightly purplish and pulse for a moment. And he kind of takes a step back, and it looks a little winded. Oh, I hate that spell. And he puts the ivory
all
away.
right?
He looks winded, but okay. Almost as if he just saw something that he didn't want to see, something that was not enjoyable to see. He picks up the book, and he goes, Undaya. And you see the letters rearrange.
You did it.
It's a useful spell I picked up a long time ago. It's called Legend Lore. It allows me to see the brief history of an object that I am holding.
Sounds mighty useful.
It is indeed. One of my personal favorites. It is so interesting sometimes to simply take a walk through an old battlefield or just a beautiful summer evening, beautiful field. Pick up a stone and cast Legend Lore. It is peaceful. See the sky go by overhead, and
Is it
grasses
something
grow.
I might be able to learn, Master?
Perhaps one day, yes. You can roll an Arcana check if you want.
Okay.
Actually, what was your last Arcana check? Was it 22?
22.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you reroll. You know that it's a higher level spell, and with a 22, you know it's a 5th level spell.
Yeah, okay. Eugene, what's it say? Or actually, Dorian has the book, right? Or has he handed it back?
He's holding it still, but he hands it back to you.
Eugene, what's it say?
I'm scouring it. What does it say?
It says, that last entry, I'll reread it, with the new text that you see. I've found one, I've found one, I've found one. There is indeed a sanctuary near this place. It looks to be, and this is the hidden part, it looks to be in a mine in the Deusaab Crags. I asked some of the burlier men in town. They say it's been taken over by some sort of creature. And then it goes back to what you recognize. Nothing is ever easy, but just for once, I wish it were.
So it is the Deusaab. There is some sort of creature there at the sanctuary. We've got to go. We've got to go there.
This
No.
is a good use of our time.
Just a second.
Now we know to expect trouble. Well,
Yeah.
even more trouble.
Dorian looks at you, Eugene, and sort of cocks an eyebrow. He goes, "It is the sort of sanctuary that I think you are talking about. It would behoove you not to talk about it too loudly in the streets of Sanguim.
Of course,
I do
of
not
course.
judge. But there are others who will.
Why not? Sanctuary seems like hallowed ground, is it not?
Depends on your viewpoint of the world. To some, hallowed ground is blasphemy.
You see, there once was I'm gonna try and tell the history of Sanguim, which I don't really remember, but I think Eugene would remember.
Eugene definitely would remember. So Eugene regales you with this story, which essentially goes, there was, in the first days of magic being taught to humans, which approximately started about 100 years ago at the end of the second signing of the Treaty of Seers, in which it was finally revealed that humans could learn magic. For a long time, elves kept that secret because it kept them as the ruling class, and humans somewhat subjugated beneath them because they couldn't do any magic, or so they were told. And then it was eventually revealed that humans could do magic, and the Second War of the Seers broke out. Second signing of the Treaty of Seers said, okay, there will be peace, but you will establish schools that will teach humans. As it happens, one of those schools established was in Valitria, which was one of the only major strongholds of humans at the time. The two main cities being Valitria, the humans, and Cold Rock, the elves. After which point, one of the students there essentially left the school and went to study magic that she wanted to learn. And she was called the Sanguimancer, and she established the town of Sanguim until approximately 60, 70 years ago. The Shields of Arcan, led by a young priest named Hakan, killed her and began essentially a crusade against blood magic, aberrations, vampires, and all sorts of things related to what they would consider to be sanctity of life, of humanity, of blood.
And
This sounds like an
that's the
awful
story.
place.
Yeah. I think it's so frustrating how ignorant people can be. They're just afraid of what they don't understand.
I have
Just
found...
because
Go ahead.
there's power and blood doesn't mean that it has to be used for evil.
While I do not necessarily disagree, I must ask that you cease this conversation. Please. Perhaps one day we will meet on ground that is not controlled by the Shields of Arcan, and there we can have this conversation more fully.
Sorry, Dorian, of course.
It's all right.
Even in your most private of sanctuaries and sanctums, you're afraid.
Well, Sanguim is my home. It took a long time for them to appreciate and to accept me here.
I do not wish to undo that.
I can understand that struggle.
We're
You've
going
done
to
us
go.
You've done us a
We're
great
going to go to the
service.
crags. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
You're right, Eugene. And perhaps it's best you do know, Master Dorian, we are headed to the crags, as Eugene is saying.
I had gathered as much. Well, I have many other items if you wish to take a look. The hour grows late, but my doors are always open for you, as you know.
Do you have any extra pearls? I don't need the fancy, beautiful black one like yours. Just any pearl will do that so that I can identify magical items if we find any more.
Of course.
I know the spell, but I don't have the materials.
Absolutely. Just one moment. And you see him step behind the counter to the door that's there. And while we're on the subject, you notice that most of the doors are wood in this place. That door is metal. It's made of what looks to be banded iron. And he just places his finger against the... There doesn't look to be a locking mechanism, but just above the handle. And you hear a click in the door, and he pushes it and it swings open. He leaves it open because he knows you and trusts you. But about a moment later, he returns with a small box. It looks like a ring box. And he just sets it on the counter in front of you and flips it open. There's inside... it's not perfect. It's not a perfectly round pearl, but it looks to be one that would work.
Can I look at it?
Of course. Please.
Just gonna like look at it all super up close, like with my eyes all magnified by my glasses, just like wow. How much?
On account of the fact that it is not perfectly round, I will give it to you for 75 gold pieces.
What a good deal, right, guys? Can we get it?
You're welcome to spend your portion as you wish. Melchizedek and myself have taken the liberty of spending a good portion of the gold we've amassed so far. I will not object.
I did also want some of your cantrips, but I think this will be more useful
The cantrips
for whatever
will
we
be
might
here when
find
you
in the
get back,
crags.
as will the pearl. It's your choice.
I need it. I need the pearl. Okay, I'll take it.
How do you pay? Do you pay with gold or with the gems?
I'll pay with gold, I think.
Okay.
Hold on to the gems. Yeah.
Okay. He accepts the gold and simply pushes the case to you. You are now the proud owner of a slightly imperfect, but pearl worth probably about 100 gold pieces.
Fantastic.
Arbitrage, go sell it.
No.
You
let's
also
see, how do
gathered
I
that he
add-
was doing you a favor. On account of his close relationship with Arid and the fact that you guys have rolled insight, kind of likes you guys.
Yeah. That's
You
great.
did give him, or you did agree to give him, sell him essentially 2 magical lamps to play with. So that
Yeah.
carried him. That carried
Well-
some favor.
How do I find a pearl to add it? Should I just add it manually in some way?
Yeah, you can add it manually if you choose. There isn't a specific item for it, I don't think. Or there could be. I can look.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm just not sure
shall
how
we
to
take
do it,
our
so.
shiny new treasures to this mine shaft?
I think we
Ah.
shall.
I don't see any reason to delay further. I found out some good information.
Indeed.
Should we take a
The
short rest?
confluence of factors seems to be all drawing us to this one place.
It sounds like it'll be mighty dangerous.
We may find this murderer who we tracked for Lydia.
There might be a
It sounds
creature
like-
there still.
It sounds like there is something which interests our young, excitable wizard friend.
It's
And
like an abomination which must be put down, if you ask me.
And if we can clear this mine, perhaps operations may resume there, which could go a long way towards restoring at least a portion of the jobs which have left this town.
You're right. Oh my god, this is such a heroic little adventure we're about to go on. What do I mean little? This is huge. We can save the town of Sanguim. Or at least help it.
I was
You're
hoping
right.
Aaron
mostly
nodding vigorously in agreement.
and if it is possible to bring some iron ore back to this smeltery.
I'm sure Soldanus would be quite pleased for the business.
How much do you know about
would be-
Saldanis?
I know he is
Go ahead.
a resident in this town for longer than me. He has been here for many, many years indeed.
Does he live
Does he
alone?
have a family?
He did. He had a family. Tragically, his daughter died when she was very young indeed. I remember there were many people in the town that were sorry for it. For a while, he was very beloved by the people who worked for him. He took good care of them. I appreciated that about him. He was a good man. But the town turned on him. I think for perhaps several reasons, but recently because he closed his mine. Secondly, because it is rumored that he is addicted to potions of some sort. And
Well, I don't know what we should tell you, but we did do a little investigating. And I'm not sure that it's him that's addicted to the potions.
how do you mean?
Well, I'm gonna look at my party. Like, are they like trying to be like, don't tell him for any
What the-
reason?
What the boy is trying to say, aside from his daughter, was there anyone else he lived with?
His wife. A wood elvish woman, but she left many years ago and returned to the Kiraset. We would see her from time to time. She came back to visit him. But last I heard, she was quite sick, quite ill.
It's what the boy is saying. The potions be meant for her.
Ah. This would make some sort of sense.
No, sire. She's still there.
We'll do a lot of good in
Nah.
a lot of ways to bring this mine back up and running.
All the more reason to put this to bed. Should we set off?
I have heard enough. I will visit this mine shaft,
All right.
and I will kill what we find there.
One more point of business before we go. Mel, would you mind giving me my earnings?
I count out 75 gold.
Put it in the alms box.
Try not to give it all away today. Alright?
Well, let's see who has been needing it. And as we leave, I'm gonna take note of any beggars. I'm gonna give them one gold piece each.
My god.
If you,
God damn it!
if you are looking
Joy of
for
it.
something to do with the gold,
Well, Dorian, you have the gold pieces that I allotted you before. Actually, I had an idea as I came in. Seems to be raining a bit around here these days. Perhaps you'd be putting and employing some of those folks to work and building shelters.
Well-
Ramshack things.
I just had an idea, if you will allow me. The 500 gold from before, and perhaps your 75. We could make an investment when the mine is clear. Soldanus will need money to restart operations. if he is to run the smeltery and hire back more people, and who knows who owns the mine now? Don't know who owned it before, but it was not Solvanis. If he is to take that too, it will require capital. This will employ many people in town and will do more good, I believe, than me simply giving away the 500 gold.
Is a right and true suggestion. Mel, give me 6 gold pieces and the rest to the man.
I've already given them all to you, but I will take 69 back.
I'm sorry. My brain is a little bit elsewhere these days sometimes. That's what happens when you get old. And Mikhail counts out the 69 pieces twice for good measure.
Nice.
And passes them on to Dorian. Or leaves them on the table. I trust you. You see to be of good stand and stature.
Well, your name will be on it as well.
And
I have
you
no
will be
name.
the, what is it called in your tongue? The fiduciary.
Details. I have not decided this yet. We will discuss when you get back and when there is a mine that can actually be worked. In the meantime, he just closes his eyes and the chest you see from before reappears. Just sort of floats ethereally out of the floor at his feet. And he waves his hand and it opens. And he takes the gold and says, I will keep it for safekeeping. And he places it in the chest, closes it, and waves his hand and the chest disappears.
Keep that.
That is quite a sum of gold. It was a generous and, I think, worthwhile investment.
It's a grand idea, Master. Mikhail, respect your desire to help. Well done.
If this gold can stop some of the suffering around here, then it shall be
Not
done.
until we clear this mine.
A fair point.
Yes.
What
Shall we?
time is it? Is it too late to set out, or
It's probably about 7
We-
o'clock now. You can hear it's raining outside, currently.
I suggest we all retire to the Dragul and start early on the morrow.
How far away, DM, is the mine that we've noted that we need to go to?
It's probably about 3 miles away. It's
A day's journey.
less than a day's
A
journey.
morning.
Yeah, you can walk 3 miles relatively quickly, particularly with a bag of holding that only weighs 5 pounds and carries all your gear.
Melchizedek, I have a thought. You are probably more well versed in this sort of thing and traveled much farther than me. I want to approach this under the cover of darkness, when they won't be expecting us. It might give us some time to see what we're up against. Sneak in.
Yes, well, while there is wisdom in your words, the weather is miserable, and I don't much fancy entering a mineshaft at night.
But every night,
Forget you can't see. Well, can you?
I can see plenty well. I do not have the eyes of a magical bird.
my concern is that every night something strange seems to be about, each a little bit more wicked than the last. Suppose we go to rest, and tonight it all accumulates into one final thing. Something like this deserves immediate attention.
I agree with the
Besides-
old man.
Thank you, boy. Mel, you look like a tough sort. I think you can walk a little bit in the rain and cold, can you not?
Look, I am not opposed to a midnight march if it is necessary. If you deem it is, I will not question your judgment.
We're gonna go now in the raid?
You'll be fine,
I
Eugene.
guess. All right.
I turn to Dorian and I say, you don't happen to have some kind of enchanted raincoats or...
You see,
An
he
orbital
has
water shielding.
he cracks a smile, and it's a sort of like a smirk a little bit. No, it is not in my current repertoire, but I will look into it. If you are looking for outdoor sort of gear, there is a shop in town that sells it. It's called the Bearded Woodman. But I do not think you need this sort of thing for a bit of light rain. Generally speaking, the shop is usually patronized by wood elves. The gear is said to come into town and need gear for their long treks to the forest, you know. Sometimes they are there for many years at a time.
We've spent a good bit of gold already today, but Melchizedek, if you need it for your delicate sensibilities, we can stop by the shop.
You see Melchizedek shoulder the bag of holding and reveal a small hood that's rolled into the back of his armor piece, puts it over his head, and without a word exits the shop.
That's the spirit.
Good man.
Okay.
Master Dorian, I appreciate your hospitality. We've some work to do.
Yes, as do I. I must
Thank you.
return to my, well, whatever it is I was working on. Come back sometime, I will show you. In the meantime, I wish you all good luck. And do come back when you are finished.
Naturally.
Thanks for everything, Dorian. You're the best. I can't wait to see what you've been working on, by the way. I bet it's gonna be awesome. See ya!
Goodbye.
Keep out for any
And,
sorts of options you might want. Goodbye, my friend.
he gives you a nod, a respectful nod. You exit out of the store, unless anyone else has anything else, through the main atrium area.
Melchizedek is already halfway to the mine.
I'll show these guys.
Yeah.
Melchizedek takes the dash action every turn, and then what's it called? Fighter ability gives him extra actions. Action surge.
Oh,
There you go.
action surge.
It
Yeah.
makes another dash. I don't actually think you can do that.
I don't think so. You
I
got
think it's
attack.
extra
That's about it.
attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it. Oh, it's only extra attacks. I'll take the
Yeah.
attacks over the movement. Cool. As you step out, you step back out into the chilly and rainy night. Although the light is not fully gone from the sky yet, it's 7:15 now. It's definitely a little colder than when you stepped inside, and it's an unpleasant change from the perfectly maintained and warm, breezy interior of the Stonebright Enchanters. You know the direction of the mine. You can certainly go to the eastern gate should you choose. That's probably the easiest way there.
Yeah.
With Melchizedek determined to redeem himself, taking the lead, Arid is happy to follow in his wake.
You arrive at the eastern gate without much trouble. The guards who are on patrol there just sort of look at you with this crazy expression of why are you going out now? But they let you through without any hassle. They know they've been told that you're working for Lydia currently, and they saw you pass through this way with Emily this morning, actually, on your way to the bandit house smeltery. Who is leading currently the way to the mine?
Melchizedek.
You want to roll a survival check for me, Bo?
Yeah.
I assume you have the map.
Yep.
Always rushing towards something. It's the folly of the young.
That would be a 12 plus 3 for 15.
15. It's relatively easy. There are roads here, unlike on the other side of Sanguim, so the trek takes you approximately, let's say about an hour and a half to do the 2 miles past the gate, or 2.5 miles past the gate. It's a relatively speedy march. About halfway through, however, the skies open up. And what was a light rain becomes a full-on thunderstorm. You see the trees of the swamp on your right tossing in the wind, and the rain now is pelting your face as you continue on.
Is there anything unnatural about the storm? It does seem like...
There doesn't appear to be, no.
One thing I will
shelter.
never get used to in this part of the world. The incessant rain. Where I am from, if it rained once per year, it was a surprise.
Mighty uncomfortable, but how far away are we now?
Melchizedek is just stomping through puddles stubbornly.
With a survival check of 15, you know that you're relatively close to where the mineshaft is, and you can see the sort of roots of the mountains in front of you as they stretch upwards and vanish into the night sky. It takes you probably about another 15 minutes of absolute misery to arrive at where you believe the mineshaft should be. And it's interesting, there's a river here that flows into the swamp, and as you follow it with your eyes, it turns into a gorge that loses itself in the roots of the mountain. Roll a perception check for me. The whole party can.
Okay.
Can we take a minute
That's
to
a 12.
look at the swamp? Oh, that's a natural.
Sorry, that was persuasion, not perception. It should have been a 15.
Okay. You can take a minute to look at the swamp if you want.
Hey, I rolled a 16.
Okay. What are you looking for in the swamp?
Same.
The way that the trees are moving around is a bit strange and odd to me. I think.
You
I'd like to look at them.
don't notice anything that's unusual. They seem to all be swaying in the same direction and then swaying back, as if there's wind. And you can feel the wind, although it's obviously heavier up where the treetops are. You feel the breeze down at ground level where you are. So it doesn't strike you as unusual. But with a natural 20, and indeed with most of your rolls, you spot that near this gully where this little river or stream comes from, there is a ledge up on the upper left. And it looks as if it's well traversed, or used to be at some point. It's a little ways off the road, but it would be easy enough to get to. Do you proceed?
Is that the only way?
Yeah, Mel, you realize that that's probably you're roughly on the map where the X is currently, and that is a path that leads into the mountains.
You see the ledge up there with the path.
Hard to see anything in all this rain and thunder.
Look, just there. And I take Mikhail's hand and sort of guide him so he's pointing in the direction I'm indicating.
Once I see it, looks a bit treacherous, though.
I think if we went around and then dropped onto the ledge from above, you see there by the scraggly roots.
Who wants to go first, then?
Yeah, marching order, please.
I'll go.
And I.
Okay, Arid, Mel. Mikhail and then Eugene, or Eugene then Mikhail?
If you want, boy, I can wait until you go. Be here for ya. You know, if you need some encouragement.
Yeah, no, I'm not scared. Okay.
For the record, the ledge is about 5 feet wide. It's not a tiny little ledge. It's just on the left, there's a bit of a rock wall. And on the right, it drops away into the precipice or not precipice, but gully where this river is flowing.
I see.
Okay.
But regardless, I move the slowest, so I'll hold up the rear. Go ahead, boy.
All right.
Okay. As you make your way along this ledge, there are... it's mossy, right? So there's a moss that's growing here. Probably you figured due to the humidity from the stream as it sort of like rushes its way out of the mountain. And it is rushing. It's quite a violent flow of water. But halfway through, Arid, since you're first, you kind of stub your toe against something that makes a sort of metallic thunk as you hit it. And with your foot, you can push aside the moss, and you see the remains of what look to be railings, probably for, you gather, a minecart that at some point was pushed down this passageway.
Damn it, watch it step. There's a rail for the minecarts. It's definitely it. Right there. Watch your step, Melchizedek.
As you follow... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. And proceeds into the cavern if he sees it.
You do.
You might say we're on the right track.
Yeah.
Oh.
You've already lost 1 point of inspiration, Dom. Come on.
You're going to start losing health. You're going to start losing health. You don't have inspiration to take away anymore. The entrance itself, which you do see, is rather unsupposing, actually. It's a sort of narrow culvert carved into the rock ahead of you. It's wide enough for the tracks to disappear inside. But as you approach, you can feel the air pressure change. Almost as if there's air being expelled from the mountain's lungs that are sort of like buried deep beneath your feet. It's not an unsettling feeling. To those of you who have been to a cave before, you know that the pressure does change. But it does make you stop and think. And as you look up, you can see now that you are sort of in the embrace of this mountain, that the roots of it have extended around you. And looking up is truly an imposing sight as it just sort of paints a silhouette against the night sky, which is currently cloudy.
Melchizedek's hands go to the rock walls. Anything weird?
The rock walls themselves are rather damp and somewhat slimy. There's water that sort of drips down them, and currently it's flowing down them in little rivulets and streams, you gather, because of the rain. But they are mossy.
But not like the subterranean...
Not like Elven Plain mossy.
No.
Yeah.
No. Seems relatively normal for this part of the world.
Holds a hand up behind him and puts a finger to his lips, entering stealth and surveying the entrance for any sign of traps or anything dangerous.
Roll a... Are you actively looking for traps?
Actively looking for traps and in stealth.
Roll stealth and investigation, please. If the party wants to go stealth, everyone please roll stealth.
Yeah, and may I assist the investigation?
You may. One of you can roll with advantage or individual rolls.
That was a 19 plus 3 for my stealth roll. 22.
19 for me for stealth.
Okay.
18 for Eugene.
18.
For Mikhail.
What was Mikhail?
10.
10. Okay. Overall, you passed. You feel that you're relatively well hidden as a party. Mikhail sort of bangs his toe on one of the rails, and you hear it go boom, 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 boom down the cavern, ever so slightly. But he very quickly recovers himself.
There's where tenses. Exactly.
It is a
And
good
roll.
noise, though.
Arid has rolled a 17 for investigation.
You do not see any traps. The ground itself looks relatively undisturbed, except for just ahead of you, there was dust on the inside of the rails. where there isn't water at the moment, because that's within the entrance of the cave, or the mining cave anyway, and the dust seems to have been moved slightly. It's almost as if someone put their foot there.
We're not the first ones here. Stay quiet. Speak only when absolutely necessary.
Well, we know that. The murderer is also here.
Wasn't for you, Melchizedek. And looks pointedly at Eugene.
What did I do?
I just said, don't... Never mind. And slowly proceeds forward, following signs of disturbance along the rails.
The narrow passageway that you're following rather quickly opens up into a room that's relatively narrow by comparison to its depth. You almost can't see the far side of it. There are broken broken crates here that are stacked along the northern wall to your left, all of which are empty. Some are broken and smashed, or appear to have been dropped. The floor is slightly angled, too, and to your right you can just sort of hear the rhythmic drip of water from the ceiling. With your investigation check from before, you get the feeling that this place was cleared out in a hurry, and anything of value was probably taken.
Do we hear anything?
Other than the drip, no,
Yeah.
you do not hear anything in this cavern, although you can sort of hear the echo of something far off, pretty normal for underground.
Any signs of beasts or creatures fur left behind or anything like that?
Roll a
Okay.
investigation check for me, or if this is a new investigation check.
Okay.
I would like to guide myself first.
Go ahead.
I'll do it. I might as well. Investigation
Sure.
as well. Yeah, 15.
I'm assuming the 17 I rolled before stands.
It does. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus a d4. Oh, pick the first one. 17.
And you are looking specifically for what?
Signs of animals or beasts.
In here, you don't see
Footprints.
signs of creatures. These crates are relatively large, but they look to be most were nailed shut. One of which is smashed. You see the remains of rock that has a sort of reddish hue to it. And as water drips, you can see a little rivulet of water underneath it that's red in color as it rolls down to the right side of the room. The minecart rails ahead of you as you follow them, and they're easy enough to find here because there's no moss growing on the inside here. They proceed to the far end of this room, this not too wide room.
Doesn't appear to be a living thing inside, I whisper, or Mikhail whispers.
Yeah, there's nothing here. Let's keep going. I'm gonna keep going down the room.
Okay.
Arid continues.
As you reach the far end, you see that the room narrows, not in a square, but they're just sort of naturally in a curve, into another passage that looks a lot like the one you entered through, wide enough for a minecart, and the rails continue down through it. However, with your investigation rolls, you do notice that there is a crate that doesn't look like the others, that is sitting on the left, near where this entryway opens up and continues further into the mountain.
Does it look like newer, or it's a different, like, make, or like wood?
Looks like a different make. It's much smaller, and it definitely is newer.
This doesn't look like it belongs.
Arid approaches. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mikhail.
I was saying it doesn't look like it belongs.
As you get closer to take a look at it, if you do.
Arid does.
I thought I heard you say that. I don't want to make you do things. I just thought I heard you say that, so apologize if you didn't.
Yeah, it's okay.
You notice that it's stamped on the side. with the same lettering of the crate that Urlinak had taken from the wall in the IHB, and it is stamped Iberim's House of Boom. It's also empty. The top is gone. It's a larger crate than the one with 4 in it. It also has the sort of wine case look to it, with the dividers on the inside that are stuffed with hay. But each of the spaces is essentially empty. There's nothing other than hay in them.
Aird whispers back. Looks like Olga is a thief, on top of being a murderer.
I suppose he wants with all these explosives. Do you think he already used them?
Can't rightly say with a thunderstorm going on. Might have been in my boom or two that came from here.
It's almost... And let's move on, I suppose. There's nothing inside the box to take back.
You also notice that with those investigation rolls, you have the presence of mind to notice that there are only 8 spots in this box.
There's another one then.
Okay. As you proceed, the mineshaft descends, although at an only slight angle, until it opens up into a much larger room. There are multiple minecart tracks here, and there appears to be a device in the center of the room, which looks like a circle, but has minecarts, essentially ties, laid in an X pattern. Actually, I will show you the map.
Ooh, new map!
Going on a map.
Okay. So there are 3 paths here that proceed. One's to the north, and you see that there are very sturdy iron bars in it, and it appears to have what looks like a wooden overhang. It looks almost like a catwalk built into the wall, and it's both on the north and the south. There's also a southern route, but although it's barred, the interior is collapsed. It looks as if the roof has been destroyed. And straight ahead of you...
me, by the way.
What's that?
Map is black.
Oh.
I see it.
Do you see it?
It's like a fog of war. Like if I go somewhere, it gets unclear. Or, you know, uncleared out.
I will fix that.
How does one place one character on the map?
Your character should be on the map.
Yeah, I see it, which is fine.
I figured I couldn't see anything just because of dark vision. I don't have it.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Do you see now?
Well, I also
actually,
don't have
no.
dark vision.
Now I see nothing. Before I could, like, when I moved my character, I would see the area I moved into, so it's worse now.
That's interesting. I wonder if it is because Arid has dark vision.
Oh, now
Now I see it.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I see everything.
Oddly enough, when I zoom in and out, it shows different parts of the map.
Yeah, it's weird.
Seems fine to me.
Okay. Although I only see 3 of you on the map now.
Like, I don't see where my character
Eugene
is.
is hiding behind Arid, I think. Or maybe, oh, there he is.
You go. There's
Behind Melchizedek.
Gonna have to roll an acrobatics check for that one. Cool.
Right.
And you see to the north is barred, rather sturdily. The south is also barred, but it appears that there's rock pouring out of the entrance, as if it has collapsed. But to the east, or directly ahead of you, there is another shaft with bars that look similar, except that they are bent inward somewhat, and they appear to be charred. The roof is also collapsed in the center of the room. There's a very large crack over your head, and the debris from it is scattered across the floor in the center.
Does the roof look like it's in danger of further collapse?
Roll. Why don't we make you roll for this one? Let's roll a new investigation check for this in a new room.
That would be a 12.
A 12. It looks fresh. It looks like it hasn't had a lot of time to be dusty and so forth. But you're not hearing the sounds of stone cracking or any warning signs like that. It seems as if a piece of a weak rock essentially collapsed.
Any water leaking through?
No, not that you can hear in here.
Mighty step. Looks like we know which way our fellow went.
Looks like this is where they detonated some of those explosives. Look at those bars over there.
Mikhail goes up to them and touches them. Are they still hot?
Okay. So you cross the room to do it?
Going on the outside edge
You
of the
blow
room,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Walk in and explore, yeah.
Are you going up onto the catwalk to do it, or?
Do I have to cross the catwalk to do it, or can I?
No,
walk
you
around
can
the
walk
edge?
through the center. The areas of debris are considered difficult terrain, but you can.
Just kind of want to make my way over on the north side of the room.
Right about there. I'm going to move you back. Your foot feels something a little sticky. And it's as if something's clinging onto your leg as you walk past it.
What's this? Can I pull
Where
my
is
foot away?
the old man going?
You can pull your foot away. As you do, whatever was stuck to you almost twangs back into place, and you see a vibration pass through it.
Oh, God.
Everyone, please roll a perception check for me.
12.
Also a 12.
That was
15.
a dirty 20 for me. 17 plus 3.
Mal, you hear skittering somewhere in the chasm above you.
No, not skittering. Oh, God.
I draw a crossbow. There are creatures up there.
Arid, for the record, is still, moving about stealthily. Seeing Melchizedek, though, draw his cross. Did you say you drew your crossbow, Melchizedek?
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
aiming it towards the ceiling where I have heard the skittering of maleficent feet.
Arid
Eugene's gonna
quietly
sorry, go ahead.
withdraws his or unsheathes his short sword and creeps closer to Mikhail.
I'm gonna pull out my wand and how like non-stealthy is holding a cantrip.
You can hold a cantrip in stealth. It's just firing it that breaks stealth.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm like ready a firebolt, just because I'm very scared of what's going on here.
Okay. You, Mel, I assume you're looking up currently?
Yeah, I also accidentally drew a boom circle, but I didn't mean to.
Kill it all with fire. I'll delete it for you. There you go.
Oh, oops.
Oops.
I tried to get rid of it, but I
You also
drew a
drew
boom,
a boom
partial
cone.
circle.
Foreshadowing.
Could you share the map again, DM? Somehow.
What happens? Are you locked out? Here, let me delete your character from it, and then I'll put you back.
Yeah. No, the odd thing is that the outline of the room doesn't match where the actual map is. So I see something room-shaped, but it's on the corner of the map.
Oh, you're going to want to refresh. There's nothing I can do about that one. I think that's
Okay,
probably an error on
will
your
do.
end.
Yep, I'm loading up again. Go ahead.
Okay.
Arid has quietly crept up behind Mikhail, meanwhile.
Okay. the skittering gets louder. And Mel, as you look up, there's not much light in here. But with the dirty 20, you see something so sort of amorphous sort of squeeze and pull its way through the crack in the ceiling. It sticks to the ceiling, whatever it is.
Better.
Arid whispers to Mikhail. What? Stop. Keep going.
Strange tack on the ground. Almost lost me boot to it. I think I can maybe jump over it, but I can't quite see what's on the other side.
You've pulled
DM.
free from it, by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
Arid using his dark vision, does he see what it is? And what is there? Is it possible to jump over it?
It looks like webbing that is stuck to the wall, the floor in front of you, or next to you, and there's a strand of it that goes up into this crack in the ceiling.
Spiders.
As you say that, you hear from the other side of the room and pulling itself. You see this with dark vision through a webbing on the other side. You see a spider appear. It's not just any spider, though. This is the biggest fucking spider you've ever seen. Everybody, please roll initiative.
Gross.
No.
Spiders.
And I roll nope instead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Somebody give me a giant book. Smash it. Or
It says
shoe.
I can't
Give me a
roll
shoe.
initiative.
Yeah, you have to start combat, I think.
I will do that. Why don't we take a type 5 and then come
Yeah.
back and start combat? Cool?
Cool.
Sure.
Sounds good.
All right.